The space race, once a battle of the Cold War era, is evolving into a new, high-tech rivalry. The modern-day space race is not just about reaching the moon or Mars anymore. It's about securing dominance in a realm that influences science, technology, military power, and global politics. Countries like the US, China, Russia, and even private corporations are now vying for influence in outer space. For decades, NASA has been the leader in space exploration. From landing astronauts on the moon to launching rovers and satellites, it has spearheaded humanity's exploration of the cosmos. But now, with the Mars Sample Return Mission, a project aimed at collecting samples from Mars to understand its potential for life, NASA's leadership is being questioned. The stakes are higher than ever, as space is not only a place of scientific discovery, but also an arena for geopolitical influence. However, NASA's future in space is uncertain. Recently, due to budget constraints and shifting political priorities, NASA has faced significant cuts to its funding. Meanwhile, China's space program is advancing at a rapid pace, with projects like the Tianwen 3 mission targeting Mars. As the US struggles with its funding issues, China may soon leave NASA behind in the race to understand the Red Planet, marking a potential shift in the global balance of power in space exploration. In recent years, NASA has faced increasing financial challenges. Despite its ambitious plans, including returning astronauts to the moon and eventually reaching Mars, the US government has been reluctant to provide the necessary funding. Budget cuts have plagued NASA, causing a slowdown in its most ambitious missions. A significant portion of the cuts comes from political shifts and the country's focus on other priorities, including domestic issues and the growing need for defense funding. Additionally, space exploration, while crucial for advancing technology and scientific understanding, does not immediately pay dividends. Many lawmakers and officials question the practicality of continuing large-scale space missions in the face of pressing national issues. These financial pressures have forced NASA to scale back on some of its major projects, including the Mars Sample Return Mission. The reduction in funding for NASA's Mars mission opens the door for China to take the lead. While NASA has long been a leader in space exploration, its reduced involvement in key projects, like Mars exploration, could have long-term effects on its global position. The US has always seen space exploration as an avenue to not only advance science, but also to project power on the global stage. A withdrawal from the Mars race could be seen as a sign of weakness in this domain. China, on the other hand, has been making impressive strides. With the success of its Tianwen 1 mission to Mars in 2021, China demonstrated its growing capabilities in space technology. The Tianwen 3 mission, aimed at collecting Martian samples, is well on its way to becoming a significant milestone for China. If NASA is unable to keep pace, China will likely dominate the race for Martian exploration, making it the new leader in planetary science. The implications of this shift are far-reaching. If China becomes the dominant player in Mars exploration, the geopolitical landscape will change. Space has always been a source of global competition, and losing ground to China could reshape the way countries perceive their roles in space. Furthermore, if China leads in Martian research, it could also dictate the direction of future space policies, setting standards for international cooperation, resource sharing, and technological development. The United States, a long-standing space power, may now find itself in a position where it must reassess its strategies to remain competitive. This could lead to new forms of collaboration with international partners or even increased investments in private space initiatives, such as SpaceX, to regain its edge. If China were to take the lead in space exploration, there would be several significant advantages for both China and the global scientific community. Technological advancements. China's progress in space has been nothing short of impressive. Its successful missions, such as the Chang'e lunar program and Tianwen Mars missions, demonstrate a rapidly growing technological capability. As China continues to push the boundaries of space exploration, its contributions could accelerate scientific discoveries, benefiting the world. From advanced space technology to new innovations in propulsion systems, China's leadership could bring new solutions to challenges faced by humanity. Global influence. Space has become an essential area of geopolitical influence. If China leads in space, it can leverage this position to strengthen its global standing. Control over space-based infrastructure, like satellites and communication networks, could give China a strategic advantage over other nations. Space is no longer just a realm for scientific discovery. It is a crucial factor in global power dynamics. By leading space exploration, China could establish itself as a dominant player on the world stage. Innovation and collaboration. China's leadership could encourage international collaboration, driving further innovation. As more nations turn to China for space partnerships, there could be a shift in how space research and technology are shared globally. A new era of cooperation might emerge, with China at the forefront of global space initiatives. However, China leading the space race may also come with several risks and concerns. Technological monopoly. One of the most significant risks is the potential for China to monopolize key space technologies. With its growing control over space infrastructure, China could restrict access to vital resources, such as satellite technology or advanced space propulsion systems. This could lead to a significant imbalance in space access, especially for smaller or developing countries. Militarization of space. As China continues to expand its space capabilities, the risk of space being militarized increases. China's space program has always had strong ties to its military, and the dual-use nature of many space technologies, meaning they can be used for both civilian and military purposes, raises concerns. A strong Chinese presence in space could shift the military balance, particularly in Asia and beyond, as nations may feel the need to develop countermeasures against China's growing space assets. Global power shifts. The shift in leadership could lead to a change in global power dynamics. If China dominates space, it may seek to influence international laws and regulations governing space, potentially to its benefit. This could challenge the established international norms that have allowed other nations to compete fairly in space. Countries that traditionally lead in space exploration, like the US, may find themselves at a disadvantage. If China becomes the dominant space power, the geopolitical landscape of the future could change dramatically. Space exploration is no longer just about science. It has become a key element of national security, economic power, and global influence. The consequences of China leading could be far-reaching. Shift in alliances. The United States and its allies may need to rethink their space policies and strategies. With China emerging as a powerful space player, new alliances may form, and older partnerships could be redefined. There might be a greater emphasis on collaboration within international space organizations to maintain balance. Increased competition. If China leads in space, the competition will likely intensify. Countries like the US, India, Russia, and others will need to ramp up their space programs to keep pace. This could result in a new era of space exploration, where multiple nations push the boundaries of space technology to ensure their influence and security. New technologies and global standards. As China leads the way in space exploration, it may set the tone for future space regulations and standards. Other nations will likely follow China's lead in developing new space technologies and strategies for cooperation. The future of space exploration could be reshaped by China's approach to space. Despite the challenges faced by NASA and the potential rise of China in space exploration, there are still opportunities for the United States to maintain its leadership in the space race. Strengthening international partnerships. One way the U.S. can regain momentum in space is by fostering stronger international collaborations. Working together with allies and private companies like SpaceX, NASA can help build a coalition of nations committed to exploring Mars and beyond. By pooling resources and expertise, the U.S. can reassert its dominance in space research and exploration. Investing in new technologies. To compete with China's growing space capabilities, the U.S. must focus on advancing its own space technologies. This includes investing in the next generation of spacecraft, space propulsion systems, and advanced satellite technologies. By staying at the forefront of innovation, the U.S. can continue to play a crucial role in shaping the future of space exploration. Revitalizing NASA's budget. A critical step for the U.S. will be to increase NASA's budget and prioritize space exploration. Investing in NASA is investing in the nation's future. Increased funding would allow for more ambitious missions, including continued work on Mars exploration and the Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon. Increase NASA's budget. To stay competitive in space, the U.S. needs to ensure that NASA has the necessary resources to carry out its missions. Increasing the budget for NASA would ensure that the U.S. remains a key player in space exploration. Focus on space innovation. The U.S. should continue to invest in innovative space technologies, particularly in areas such as space tourism, asteroid mining, and space exploration mining, and space-based defense systems. By leading in cutting-edge technologies, the U.S. can maintain its leadership in space. Encourage private sector involvement. The U.S. government should encourage private companies to play a larger role in space exploration. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are already making significant strides in the industry and can help drive the U.S. back to the forefront of space exploration. The future of space exploration is not just about who leads the race, it's about how humanity can work together to explore and utilize space for the benefit of all. Space has the potential to unlock new resources, advance scientific discovery, and offer solutions to Earth's most pressing problems. Global collaboration. Rather than seeing space as a zero-sum competition, the global community should view space as a place for cooperation. Countries should work together to share knowledge, technology, and resources to solve the greatest challenges we face, from climate change to energy production. Space, as a gateway to the future. Space exploration could unlock new frontiers of human potential, whether it's by developing technologies to protect the Earth or discovering new planets capable of supporting life. The benefits of space exploration are vast and critical for our future.